It's wonderful to be here with you. We're going to start doing some pelvic tilts, and I'm just face sideways so that you can see a little bit easier, but you're just going to roll back through your pelvis and then rotate your pelvis forward. And as you go back and forth, you're trying to use your feet and your legs. So with your feet straight and your ankles right under your knees, gently push down through your feet. Feel like your thigh bones are drawing in towards you as you come upright. And then as you roll back, you're just kind of relaxing back. But also as you pull yourself upright, try to really feel that the motion is coming from your pelvis. You can even put your hands on the side of your pelvis rather than your ribs going forward and back. Try to move, ribs stay relaxed down, try to move from the pelvis. And if you're not getting a lot of motion here in your pelvis, that's a good sign that you want to get your hips higher than your knees. Getting your hips higher than your knees, stacking yourself up on some towels or some pillows that are stable is a great place to start. It can be a great place to start if you're just trying to create range of motion in your hips, but also a great place to start if you tend to have lower back issues. If you tend to have lower back issues, getting your hips higher than your knees will encourage a neutral pelvis. When you're driving, when you're sitting at your desk, getting your hips higher is a really, really good place to start. And it doesn't take a lot of effort, just getting your hips a little bit higher. And then as we move through class, keep in mind we're trying to work with that upright pelvis more often. And being more specific, you want your top two pelvic bones right on the top of either thigh and the outsides to be directly over your pubic bone. And for a lot of people, the bones stay a little bit behind the pubic bone. So you're trying to really bring those bones forward. From here, let's stretch our legs straight, heels down, toes up. Take your arms out to the sides, palms face away from you, and then we'll lift our arms up into the air and open them down to our sides. And start to tune into your breath here. We got right into moving our pelvis, but start to tune in from your fingers to your shoulders, from your toes to your hips, just welcoming your body into this movement session, into this class, becoming very present with your breath. I was reading an excellent book this morning. It's called The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm a fan of his work. And it just talked a lot about how we have all these different modes of communication nowadays, but we haven't really become better at communicating in compassionate, understanding ways with each other. And he says if you can pause and take an in-breath and take an out-breath more often before you send an email, before you send a text, before you call someone, it makes a big difference. And so I've been aware of that for a long time, but putting it into practice is something else. So I think if I keep talking about it and planting the seeds. All right, from here, one more, arms go up and arms come down by your side. Reach back to your chair. You can do any height, but if you tend to have a stress habit of hiking your shoulders up by your ears, maybe take your hands a little bit lower. And then from here, try to keep that pelvis tilting upright as you lift and relax your ribs down. So your breastbone lifts up into the air and then it drops down. It almost feels like it sinks back, but it becomes very vertical. So lift and lower and lift and lower. Notice as you lower, is your pelvis sinking back. Try to separate those motions. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Now feel the ribs dropping down, pelvis tilts upright. Put a little bend in your elbows. Open your elbows a little and curl them in. Open and curl in. Open and curl in. Open and curl in. Okay, keep your elbows curling in, just pointing straight back. They don't have to go closer to the mat, as close to straight back as they'll go. Ribs stay relaxed down. Draw your ears back over your shoulder and then tilt your head down, looking down at the floor, and you can use your eyes to look at your toes. And if you have shoes on, that's okay, but just try to spread your toes in your shoes. Try to spread your toes as wide as you can. Breathing. Relaxing any clenching in the thigh muscles, in the lower legs. And then relax your toes and lift your head up and release your arms. And from here, let's go ahead and bend your knees. Put your ankles right under your knees with the outer edges of your feet straight. Tilt your pelvis upright, relax your ribs down. Now think of keeping your ribs down almost in this exaggerated way as you go back to lifting and lowering your arms like we did at the start of class. And if you really keep your ribs relaxed down and back, it'll put a little bit of pull on muscles that are often underused around the shoulder girdle. Breathing here. But your pelvis is still tilting upright. Those two pieces, your pelvis being in neutral and your ribs relaxed down in neutral, are big indicators of if you're having uncomfortable sensations around your spine. So always check those two things, starting with whatever's closest to the ground. So in this case, it would be your pelvis, but if you're standing, your feet. Okay, from here, let's do one more. Rise up without lifting the ribs and release the hands down. Now you're going to do heel raises where you lift your heels and lower them down. But in this case, it's very common that the ankles slightly twist. So you want to press down very equally through the ball of the feet below your toes and try not to let your ankles twist. And it'll be very subtle. You'll just see the outer ankle push out a little bit. That often means you have to push down more through the base of the big toe and keep your heels spreading a little bit more. One thing you can do is you can lean your arms on your legs and it puts a little bit more weight, and then you have to work a little harder to get your heels up off the ground. But also when you're leaning down like this, sometimes it's easier to watch and see what the habitual pattern of your ankles is. Do they twist out to the side? And go slower. Take your time. The slower you go, the more muscle you invite to participate. And then naturally, as you practice slower and you adapt your body when you're moving faster and sometimes unconsciously, that muscle will then start to participate all on its own, which is pretty cool. Do a couple more like that. And sometimes when you're really keeping your ankles steady, you won't have as much movement, and that's okay. That's why we're working on it. We're working to find those tight spots. All right, from there, let your heels come down, sit up tall with your pelvis, relax your ribs down, open your arms out to your side, and wrap your right arm on top, and open up. And wrap your left arm on top. Curl your fingers around as much as you can. Open up, right arm on top, giving yourself a hug. And open up, left arm on top. As you open, try not to push the ribs forward. They stay relaxed down. Right arm on top. And open. And left arm on top. And now this time as we open, put your right arm on top, hold. Can you wiggle your arms around a little more? Drop your elbows down and then lift your heels up off the ground. Drop your chin down and you can kind of look if your ankles are twisting and roll your neck a little bit over to the right and then a little bit over to the left. And then come back to center, lift your head up, lower your heels down. Open your arms up, put your left arm on top, wrap it around, wiggle your fingers around, drop your elbows down, still sitting up tall in the pelvis, lift your heels up, drop your chin down. You can kind of check, are your ankles twisting? And then with your chin down, roll your head a little bit to the left. Soften your face, roll your head a little bit to the right. And then come back to center and lift your head up. And lower your heels down and open your arms up and relax your arms down. Okay, let's tuck the top of our right foot or shoe under behind the chair. Try to get onto the top of your foot rather than just your toes. You can always put a pillow or cushion under the top of your foot as you stick it back there. and then open your arms like cactus arms. If at any time your foot starts to cramp or it's just been too long, then just come out of the top of the foot stretch. And from here, we'll, with our ribs relaxed down, reach your arms up and bend, up and bend, up and bend, up and bend. Now rotate 90 degrees elbows. Rotate your forearms down and up and down, up. 2 more like that. Okay, let's curl it in. Elbows come as close as they'll come and open. Curl in and open. Now curl in, hold. Try to turn your palms to face you as your elbows touch, and then little lifts up and down, up and down. Now find the center and split your forearms apart, together, apart, together, and then reach your arms out, open them to your sides, relax your arms down, and switch. Bring that right foot forward, tuck your left foot back right behind your knee so it's kind of over on the left side of the chair. Try to get to the center of the foot, and then let's sit up tall, ribs relaxed down, elbows 90 degrees, lift and lower, lift and lower. Now from here, we'll rotate down and up, down and up, and now we'll curl in and open, and in and open, and in and open, and in, hold. Now turn your palms to face you, elbows touch. This will do 4 up and down, lift and lower, lift and lower without leaning back, lift and lower, lift and lower. Find the center, split your forearms apart, together, apart, together, apart, together, apart, together. Extend your arms out, open your arms wide, and then release that top of the foot stretch. And from here, let's spin around for a lunge. So you'll spin around to your right, slide whichever knee goes back, knee under your hip. If it's comfortable, tuck your toes under to stretch the bottom of your foot a little bit. And then we're going to take this front leg in different angles. So first, hop your leg a little bit farther away from the chair. Hop your foot, rather. Your leg just goes along, and that slightly changes the angle on the front of your thigh. And then with that angle there, let's relax our ribs down and drop our chin down to our chest. And slowly roll our ear to one shoulder, and then go really slow as you go down and around to the other shoulder. And then slowly bring your chin back to center without lifting your ribs. Slide your ears back over your shoulders, and then take that foot and hop it towards the chair. So now your thigh turns into a different angle, your thigh bone turns into a different angle by moving your foot. And then from there, let's turn our head. So ribs relax down, ears slide back over your shoulders, turn and look over one shoulder, and turn and look over the other shoulder. Feel the twisting of the neck muscles. Turn and look over one shoulder, and turn and look over the other shoulder. And then bring your head back to center. Now bring that lunge straight back behind your knee. And then from here, ears slide back over the shoulders. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Try to aim it straight towards your shoulder so your head doesn't lean forward. Bring your head up slowly, and left ear goes over towards left shoulder. Nice and slowly head up, right ear over to right shoulder. And come up, left ear over to left shoulder. And then bring your head up, slide that back leg forward, and spin around to the other side. And then slide your knee back so it falls right under your hip. If it's comfortable, tuck your shoes or your toes under. And then we'll take that leg farther away from the chair. Hop it a little bit out farther away. The thigh bone internally rotates a little bit. And then from here, we're going to change up the neck motions into a different order. So we'll start with turning the head. Ribs relax down, ears slide back over the shoulders, turn and look over one shoulder and just stay. And try to make sure as you're turning your head that you're not turning your torso. Your torso and your breastbone stay straight ahead. It's just the motion of your neck. Feel how, maybe you can feel how your neck muscles transition up into your jaw. Relax your jaw muscles. And then slowly turn your head the other way and stay. Try not to turn your torso. Can you turn your neck muscles a tiny little bit more? Without the chin going up or down, keeping the chin parallel with the floor. Feel those muscles turn. And then unwind, bring that foot back over towards the chair. So maybe the leg is even touching the chair. Now you've externally rotated your thigh bone. And then from here, let's drop our right ear over to our right shoulder. Slide your ears back, slide your chin in a little bit, and hold. Try not to lean your torso to the right. So keep your torso upright, just your ear is dropping over. And then slowly bring your head up and drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Ear sliding back, chin sliding in. Try not to lean the torso over to the left. Keep letting your breath flow here. And then bring your head up and then turn that foot back to center behind your knee. And from there, keeping your breastbone vertical, drop your chin down to your chest and feel like you're slightly lifting the front of your throat up and the back of your neck towards the ceiling. Soften your forehead, relax your jaw, just stay centered. You can even look with your eyes. Does your chin look like it's in the center of your chest? Relax around your eyes, the eyebrows. And then slowly bring your head up and slide that leg forward and spin back around to the front of the chair. And then with your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, walk your feet wider than hip distance. Outer edges of the feet turn straight, inner thighs open, and we'll focus on the belly button. Now when we're twisting, to really engage and change the range of motion in our waist, which is what we need, the pelvis has to be in neutral and the ribs relax down. If those two things are out of place, it doesn't quite hit the waist in the same way. So do your best as you turn your belly to the right and then turn your belly button to the left. And just at your own pace, let's go side to side. And if you're pretty good at keeping your pelvis upright and your ribs relaxed down, you can also check on sliding your ears back over your shoulders. So sometimes that head will come forward. Never forcing anything. Breathing. Feel the waist. Relax the belly as you move. Changing the position of the bones will help the muscles do what they're supposed to. Okay, next time you turn to the right, hold. Bring your left hand to your left knee. Keep twisting your belly and lift your left arm up and drop down. And lift up and down. And up and down and up and down. Now twist your belly, focusing on the waist over toward your left leg. Reach your right hand out to your right knee, palm up. Keep the twist of the belly button as the right arm goes up and taps down. And up and tap down. And up and tap down. And up and tap down. And then unwind your waist. And from here, you can walk your feet back into hip distance apart. And let's extend your legs long in front of you. And then reach your right arm out in front of you. Turn your palm down. Hold on to your upper arm above your elbow and pull out and across your body. So you're pulling the arm slightly out, but also slightly across the body. And you're holding on above the elbow, so you're tractioning your own shoulder joint. And then we'll slightly change the rotation of the arm bone. So rotate so your thumb is up in the air and pull out gently on that upper arm. And then rotate the palm of your hand so it's up and pull out gently on that upper arm. Good, and then release. Okay, we'll switch. Reach your left arm out, palm down. Hold on to your upper arm above your elbow. Pull out and across your body. Breathing here. And then rotate the arm bones so your thumb turns up. And again, pull out and across slightly. If your shoulder's way up by your ear, relax it down a little. And then rotate your palm up and pull out and across your body. Good. And then release. Okay, from here, reach your arms out to the side, cactus arms. Keep your right arm out to the right as you turn your chest to the left. So your right elbow is going to resist back a little bit. You're turning over to the left, so it's a slight pull on your right chest muscles, and then you're going to extend your left arm and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Okay, keep turning your chest to the left. Now extend your right arm out. Extend your wrists, fingers point up to the ceiling. You're still turning your chest to the left. Now lift your left arm up and down, and up and down, up and down, up and down. And then come back to cactus arms. Now turn your chest slightly to the right. Your left elbow resists back, shoulder relaxes down, and then you'll extend your right arm and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Now from there, keep turning the chest, extend your arm, wrist extends, fingers point up, relax the shoulder down a little bit, and then turning to the left as your as your left arm resists back, reach your right arm up and bend, and up and bend, and up and bend, and up and bend. Come back to center, two cactus arms, extend both arms out, lower both arms down, excellent, and then bend your knees and we'll come back into a lunge. So spin around, let's go to the opposite side, spin around to the left first, slide your leg back, and then you're going to steady yourself on your feet because you're going to need your hands, so scoot yourself as needed with your feet grounding. And then reach your outside leg, reach that arm forward, and with your palm flat towards the ceiling, pull your four fingers down. Four fingers pull down to the floor. The wrist can turn down as well, so the palm of the hand turns down. And we'll do little lean backs here with your front ribs relaxing down and come forward. And lean back and come forward. A little bit goes a long way. Lean back and come forward. And lean back and come forward. And then from here, create a soft fist with your thumb in the air and try to keep your wrist steady. So if you move your thumb and your wrist moves around, you're not isolating and getting into your thumb musculature. Try to keep your wrist steady and gently move your thumb around like a joystick. And this one is especially important if you spend a lot of time doing computer work, a lot of time scrolling on your cell phone. Please go small and be gentle because these are very small muscles in your body. But nonetheless, very important. If your hands start bothering you, you know how inconvenient that is. So you want to give them loving attention. And then release and slide that leg forward. Spin around to the other side. Knee right under the hip, steady yourself in your feet, your outside arm reaches forward, pull back on your four fingers, and then your wrist can turn down, and then from here we'll do little lean back and forward. Ribs relax down. So if you lean back from your shoulders, you'll compress your lower back. Ribs relax down as you lean back and come forward. Lean back and forward. Lean back and forward. Now create that soft fist with your thumb in the air. Keep your wrists very steady and just slowly move your thumb around from side to side, from front to back. You can do a little circle. You can move it in one direction and then in the other direction. Just go slow and be purposeful. And then release. All right, slide that leg forward, spin back around. Last seating pose, walk your feet nice and wide, outer edges of feet straight, inner thighs open. Arms to your side low, palms face down. cross right arm on top, open, cross left arm on top, low, open. We'll do 4 heights, a little bit higher. Right arm on top, open, left arm on top, open. A little higher, palms face down. Right arm on top, open, left arm on top, open. A little bit higher. Right arm on top, open, left arm on top, open. Now let's change the orientation of our shoulders just a little bit. Turn your palms to face each other so your thumbs are up in the air. And then from there, let's do left arm on top, open, trick for the brain, right arm on top, open, a little bit lower, left arm on top, open, right arm on top, open, a little bit lower, left arm on top, open, right arm on top, open, a little bit lower, left arm on top, open, right arm on top, open. All right, we've got one more set. Turn your palms to face the ceiling. Keep working on that wrapping motion, and we'll do right arm on top, open, left arm on top, open. Arms a little higher. Left arm on top, open, right arm on top, open. A little higher. Left arm on top, open, right arm on top, open, a little higher, I don't know which one I did, right arm on top, open, left arm on top, open. I tricked myself. Bring your hands down, walk your feet into hip distance apart with the outer edges of your feet straight, and then from there, let's come up nice and slowly. So we'll lean forward, try not to use momentum, try to get your hips up slow. As you do, watch those thighs collapsing in or out, push your hips back, and use your heels to press down to come up. And then come around to the back of your chair. And from the back of your chair, you're going to put your hands on your chair and walk back. 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs, backing your hips up. Relaxing your belly, relaxing your spine, but if your head tends to drop down, lift the back of your head up a little bit. And breathing here. Backing up your weight, letting your lower belly relax. Smooth inhales and exhales. And then come on up and we're going to do a calf stretch. So whatever you use for a calf stretch, I'm going to use a rolled up towel today. You could use a thin yoga block. You can use a half dome if you have one. I'm pretty sure I've showed you these before, but a half dome foam roller. It's like cut in half. Great for a calf stretch if you want to add more calf stretches to your day, which I highly recommend, but a towel works great too. So use whatever you're going to use. Put the ball of your right foot up, your heel down on the floor, outer edges of feet straight, back your weight up into your heels, and then maybe step your outside foot forward a little bit. If you feel like you lean forward or you lose your balance, don't step the foot so far forward. And we're going to do something subtle today where you're just going to rock your ankle a little bit side to side. So roll from the inner edge of your foot to the outer edge of your foot. And feel how that changes the way you feel the muscles around your calf, your lower leg. And then try to find that center spot. And from that center spot, reach your arms out to your sides, extend your wrist, and bring all of your fingers together as you turn your wrist down and up. Now spread all your fingers wide. Turn your wrist down and up. Now curl your hand into a little soft fist. Turn your wrist down and up. And then release your arms and switch feet. So ball of your left foot goes up, heel down on the floor. outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And then from here, we'll rotate your ankle nice and slowly side to side. And you can, not only are you rotating your ankle, but you can almost feel over time how when you go all the way to one side, it pulls down on that side of the leg. And when you go to the inside of the foot, it pulls down on the inside of the leg. So just taking your time and feeling not only the calf muscles, but maybe all the way up your leg. And go slow. And then bring your ankle to that center spot. Once again, reach your arms out, palms down. Extend your wrists so your fingers go up. Bring all your fingers together. Turn your wrists down and up. Spread all your fingers wide. Turn down and up. Curl your hands into soft little fists. Turn down and up. And then rotate your palms up, release your hands down, and we'll step off this calf stretch for now. You can move it out of the way. Just make sure when you're bending down and stuff, what's your habit? Do you start turning your feet out? Do your knees start going forward? So while we're in this class, work on bending down with feet straight, with ankles closer to hip distance apart. With the outer edges of your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. So when we're pelvic lifting, tuck your left toes behind you. First of all, when we're balancing, we want our weight back, so not forward of the middle or the front of our foot, our weight way back over our heel, which that in itself takes a lot of practice, and it's good to start with 2 legs on the floor and try to relax the front of your front leg. But then from there, you're going to let that hip pop out to the side and push down and hug it in. So you're stacking your joints. Let the hip go out to the side, and all the work is happening in the standing leg. This leg behind is just relaxing as you push down and hug in. So try to push down and hug in and bring your foot forward, floating, and then let that hip go out and press down, hug in. The standing leg hip. The other leg is just floating. Hip goes out, push down, hug in. Now keep that hugging in action and tuck the top of your shoe or the top of your foot back behind you for a moment. And just be conscious of what happens with your musculature when you're balancing or semi-balancing on one leg. Does the weight go forward into the front of the foot? Back it up. Does the hip tend to pop out to the side? Hug it in. Everyone is pushing down from the side of the hip, so to use less of this hip hiking up or less of this knee bending. Okay, release. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Tuck your right toes behind you. Now we'll just start by backing your weight up into your heel and then go out to the side a little and press down and hug in. Out to the side a little, press down and hug in. Now, your motion might be bigger once you start, or smaller once you start balancing, because you had more stability with your foot down on the floor. Push down through that leg. When you lift your foot up, does your weight automatically go forward? You've got to back it up, relax the front of the thigh, hip goes out, press down, hug in. Hip goes out, push down, hug in, then tuck the top of the shoe or the top of the foot behind you and keep that action, keep that work of your thigh bone backing up and your hip hugging in. Eventually, if you've gotten good at lifting and lowering the kneecaps, and that video is going to be posted soon, that alignment lesson, you want to start being able to do it while you're standing on one leg. And the first step is backing your hips up over your heels. So if you haven't watched that alignment lesson yet, watch hips over heels, practice that a lot so you can start relaxing the front of your thighs so that you can get your kneecap lifting up and down even when you're on one leg. Okay, release that foot. Now come to the back of the chair with your hands as wide as they'll go, and then walk back, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance, push your hips back, put a little bend in your elbows and let them pop out to the side and wrap them down. And remember, as a culture, we tend to spend a lot of time with our arms, not in extreme internal rotation, but in slight internal rotation. Internal rotation is when your elbows are out to the side. So think when you're driving, pushing a shopping cart, pushing a lawnmower, everything you do with your hands in front of you, even cooking in the kitchen, are your elbows always out, and try to wrap them in. But for right now, we're going to do a couple more of these. Elbows out, wrap them in, elbows out, wrap them in. So hug those elbows in so they're pointing straight to the floor, and it should be a little tighter as you back your hips up more and try to straighten your arms. You maybe feel a little bit more tension in your shoulders. And breathing here. That chronic internal rotation it's not the only piece, but it's a pretty big piece in rotator cuff issues, frozen shoulder issues, a lot of the issues that we come across in modern culture. Take a breath here. And then push down through your heels to come up and walk on up to your chair. And with the outer edges of your feet straight, ankles hip distance, put your hands on your pelvis and let's really practice rotating from the pelvis. So rotate, and if you start noticing your spine going, then that's when you stop. So rotate from the pelvis. Feel those thigh creases move back and press through your heels to come up. Rotate from the pelvis to go back and press into your heels to come up. So you're using the backs of the legs to come up. Rotate, back your thigh bones up, and press down through the heels to come up. And rotate back, and press down to come up. Now let's do chair poses. Try not to lead with the knees. Sit back, watch the thighs collapsing in or out, and press up through the feet to come up. Weight stays back in the heels. Sit back and press up using the entire sole of the foot. Sit back, watching the position of the legs, and press up. And one more. Sit back. And as you start to get your pelvis in neutral and your ribs in neutral, you'll start to notice your core muscles work all the time with everything you do. All right, from here, from our chair pose, step your right foot back into a lunge. Land high on the ball of the foot, try to center it, and then reach your right arm forward, thumb in the air, and now do a side bend to the left, and come back over. Side bend, and over. Side bend, and over. Side bend, and over. Bring that hand down. From here, turn your belly button open to the left and reach that arm into the air, and then tap the hand down. Turn the belly open and tap. Turn open, hips stay pretty steady, and tap. Turn open and tap. Push into the front foot, the ball of the back foot to step up. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back. Step your left leg back. Center the ball of your back foot. Reach your left arm forward, thumb up. Reach across to the right. Come back in line with your shoulder. Across to the right and back. Two more like that. Across and across. Hand comes down. Now we're turning from the waist, but without a lot of motion in the hips. Turn the belly to the right, arm goes up, tap the hand down. Belly to the right, and tap. Two more like that. Belly to the right, and tap, and belly to the right, and tap. Push into the heel of the front foot, the ball of your back foot to press up with your feet straight, ankles hip distance. Keep the weight back in the heels as you push down through the right hip and hug it in as you bend the left heel in toward your buttocks. And then lower down. Every time checking, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Back the weight up into the heels. Push down, hug the hip in. Bend the knee. Your chair's here for a reason. And lower down. Push down through the right hip. Hug it in. Back the weight up into the heel. Bend the knee. And lower down, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through the left hip, hug it in. Bend the knee. And lower down. Excellent. Okay, from the back of the chair, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Sit back into a chair pose. Press up. Take your feet a little bit wider, not quite as wide as your mat, or if you have a thin mat, maybe a little wider. Sit back. Press up. Walk your feet as wide as your mat. Now you can really check that the edges of your feet are straight. And sit back. and press up. Walk your feet a little bit wider, outer edges of feet straight. Sit back and press up. Okay, now your feet are wide. Let's go back to our cactus arms. Weight back in the heels here. Open your cactus arms up. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Sit back into a wide squat and rotate. 3 more. No rush. And straighten your legs. Weight back in the heels. Curl in, open. Curl in, open. Curl in, open. Just the arms without the chest going. Curl in, open. Curl in, hold. Turn palms to face you, elbows together. Sit back into your chair pose. And then from there, little lifts. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Straighten your legs all the way. Weight back in the heels. Forearms apart. Together. Apart. Together. Apart. Together. Apart. Together. Stretch your arms long. Open them to the sides. Your feet are wide. You probably have your chair in front of you. If not, turn. Push your hips back and shift your hips to the right and to the left. Come back to center. Walk your feet in a little closer, maybe as wide as your mat. Feet straight. Push your thigh bones back. Relax your belly. Hips go to one side and then the other side. Come back to center. Walk your feet in a little closer, not quite hip distance apart. Hips back. Shift to one side. Then the other side. Come back to center. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. Hips go back. Press to one side and the other side. Good. Come back to center. From here, sit back into a chair pose, feet straight for just a moment. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex that ankle. Watch the knee going forward, back up. Watch the hips pushing out to the standing leg. Hug it in. And then press up, feet straight. Watch that right foot from slipping in. As you cross your left ankle over, sit your hips back. Hips push towards the crossed over leg a little bit. Breathing. Okay, and come on up. All right, you're going to go back to a calf stretch. So you could use the same thing, or you can even use something different. I'm going to grab a thin block now. So ball of your right foot up, heel down, outer edges of feet straight. Step your outside foot forward a little bit. Elbow pits, soft front part of your elbow points forward. At first it's easier to turn the hands forward. Over time the thumbs will be forward and you'll be able to keep your elbow pits forward. Pull back, relax forward. Pull back, relax forward. Arm swings. I miss this one when we haven't done it in a few weeks. It feels good. Notice your ankle. Is it rolling to one side? Straighten it out. You can always step that outside foot forward a little bit. All right, let's switch. So, put the ball of the foot up, the heel down, outer edges of feet straight. So this is interesting. I've done this, for those of you who have taken in-person classes with me, you know we almost always use the thin block. I've done this on this height so many more times than probably anything else, and I don't feel as much of a stretch. Yet I was on the towel earlier and it was lower, and I felt, because my calves have woken up, I can feel a stretch from when I stretch it a little bit to a lot. And so I actually feel almost more work being on something. So change the height of what you're on, Or if you have something like a dome, you can put your foot a little farther up or a little farther back and change it up sometimes so that you're using your muscle in different ways, but still getting all the benefits. All right, belly button in the center, elbow pits forward, one arm at a time. Pull back, relax forward. Ribs relax down. Weight is over the heels, pelvis is in neutral. Just checking over and over and over again. It takes a lot of awareness and a lot of practice. Just like breathing in and out before we text message or call or send emails. Okay, you can put that to your side. And then from here, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Let's push down through a hip, hug it in. And again, eventually that ankle will come up without bending the knee, without the hip going out to the side, without hiking the hanging leg hip up. It's like both legs are reaching down, but your standing leg hip side is reaching down more. Micro pushbacks, micro pushbacks. So we're breaking down walking. Keep the weight back in the heel of the standing leg. Small is good. Just feel the bottom of the buttocks, the front of the hip. And switch. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through the left hip, hug it in, back your weight up into the heels, flex your right ankle, and micro pushbacks here. Okay, put that foot down. How about feet straight, ankles hip distance? Now if you have to do one arm at a time and have one hand holding on, that's okay. Push down through your hip, hug it in, flex your ankle. You're standing on one leg, your weight back's in your heels, elbow pits forward, arm swings, balancing on one leg. Okay, let's switch sides. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through the other hip, hug it in, weight back in the heel, flex the ankle. One arm at a time, arm swings. A little trickier, a little different load. I feel myself losing balance, so what do I have to do? Pay attention to my outer hip more. I forget and I start bracing the muscles that I'm falling into instead of going to my outer hip muscles. All right, relax your arms, come on down. Let's do a double calf stretch. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, balls of the feet up, heels down on the floor. Relax your thighs as you push them back, maybe rotating your thigh bones into neutral, breathing here. Take another breath or two. Check your ankles. Are they rolling to one side or the other? And of course, if you're working with neutral, if you're first working on rotating your thigh bones into neutral, then the insides of your feet will lift up at first, and that's okay. Let that happen for a while without forcing the inside of the foot down. Relax your belly. If your tailbone can tilt a little more, you'll feel a little more pull up the back of the legs. Shift your hips a little bit side to side. And then make your way up and come on and have a seat in your chair. Take your time, no rush. Okay, you're going to want a strap nearby. So if I got you before you sat down, you don't have a strap, grab your strap. But sitting up tall, ankles under the knees, pelvis tilts upright, ribs relax down and back. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Let your left arm hang, turn your palm away from you. Nice and slowly go up a little and down. Small motion. Feel the connection from the fingers to the neck. Nice and slow up and down. Nice and slow up. Hold. Rotate the arm bone all the way one way. Rotate all the way the other way. Rotate, rotate, ear over to the shoulder. Bend the elbow, cactus arm. Extend, bend, extend. Bend the elbow, cactus arm, reach up, bend down, all the way to your side this time. Reach up, bend down. Extend your arm out. As your head comes up slowly, bring your hand down. Now, because we just helped the range of motion in that side, go really slow over so it doesn't cramp on the left side. Slowly drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Flip your right palm out. Check that your pelvis is still upright, your ribs relax down. Lift out a little and down, nice and slow. Lift out a little and down. Lift out a little, rotate all the way one way, all the way the other way. Rotate, rotate, hold, palm forward, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend, reach your arm up, bend all the way down by your side. Left ear to left shoulder. Reach your arm up, bend all the way down. Reach your arm out, palm flips up. As your head slowly comes up, your arm comes down. Grab your strap. We're going to do rib breathing, so wrap it and tie it around your lower rib cage. If you're really familiar, you don't have a strap, you can just remember the area, but try to tie it really snug below your armpits, above your waist, right around your lower rib cage, right below your chest. And then we'll breathe into the strap, inhaling. And on the exhale, we'll hug in away from the strap, so the strap almost becomes looser. Let me count to you to a count of 4, and then you can see a couple times, you can see if it feels too slow or fast for you, and then just ignore the counting if that's the case, and just follow your own rhythm. You don't have to count. You're just inhaling without strain and exhaling all the way. Let's do a count of 4 to see how that feels. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. So if that didn't feel good, then just go with your own count. But otherwise, take your arms out to your sides, palms flipped up, reach them up low chest level. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Go all the way internal rotation with your arms. So you're rotating your palms down and turning further. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Rotate your arm bones all the way the other way. Try to almost turn your thumbs behind you and your elbows forward. Ribs relax down. Your arms can always give them a break when they need to. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Bend your arms into cactus arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Rotate down cactus arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Come back up, bring your arms together, hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Try to keep your elbows together and split your lower arms apart. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Bring your hands together. Open your arms back into cactus arms. Extend your arms out wide. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And bring your arms down. Extend your legs straight. Rotate upright from the pelvis. Maybe that's where you stay. Maybe you rotate from the pelvis forward a little. Maybe the spine curls down a little. Take a breath here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, just relax. Let your breath return to normal. Maybe your head drops down a little bit more. And then very slowly make your way up and sit all the way back in your chair. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body. Become very present with your breath. Letting it be soft and natural, bare breath as it is. And then just feeling and exploring your body with your mind's eye. Trying not to attach any stories about why a part of your body feels a certain way, and instead just observe and accept how you feel in this present moment as fully as you can. And if you find yourself not being understanding or compassionate with yourself, come back to your breath and breathe in and breathe out. Heal yourself. Infuse healing energy into yourself, into your being. For too long, we've been taught to be attracted to things that drain us, exhausting our bodies, depleting our souls. That time has passed. The world is a spa, a nature retreat, a wealth of healing resources. Pour salt into your bath, sit quietly by a tree or in a garden, walk around the block in your neighborhood, spend an afternoon in a nearby park or a day at the lake or beach, throw stones into the river while you sit on the bank contemplating the eternal stream of life. Allow beautiful music to quietly imbue the stillness with healing instead of the pounding of your mind. Light a fire and awaken the darkened hearth to glowing flames and soothing warmth. Rise from your bed early in the morning, open the curtains, watch the sunrise, feel the sun. Let it infuse you with its message. Let it energize you, invigorate you, fill you with life. At day's end, return to the window or step outside. Watch the sunset. Absorb its changing colors spreading out beyond the horizon. Feel how it changes the earth and all it touches. Pet a puppy, listen to a symphony. If you can't slow down long enough to absorb the energy the first time, do it a second and a third. Absorb revitalizing energy until you can hear your voice, hear your heart tell you, what would feel good, what would bring peace, what would bring stillness and joy. Before long, doing what brings healing and joy will become as natural as it used to be to do what drains, tires, depletes, and exhausts. It isn't enough to draw near to the light, absorb it into you, let it charge you and change you with its energy and its power. Healing is all around you, wherever you are, whatever your resources. Healing energy and joy are there. Bring your hands together at heart center. Thank you for moving with me in gratitude for this day. Namaste.